Four-legged friends made a visit to a Superior assisted living facility today. Residents of the Harmony House got to play with goats when the petting zoo stopped by their facility. The event gave residents the chance to spend time outside socializing with each other while hanging out with some farm animals. Residents' family members were also invited to join the fun and have some ice cream.
I've learned how many have grown up on farms, which I didn't know, and hearing some of their stories from their childhood, from when and how that sense of touching the animals brings those memories back for them is kind of cool.
I think we can all agree hanging out with farm animals is a good way to spend an afternoon. There were goats, alpacas, rabbits, and a cow. Today's event coincides with National Assisted Living Week.